What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Carlos Prates responds to Ian Garry. Ian Garry recently called Carlos Prates a quitter, and not surprisingly, the surging welterweights fired back. Garry is booked to fight Prates in the main event of the UFC's April 26 card in Kansas City. The fight will mark the first time Garry has competed since he lost via unanimous decision to Shavkat Rakhmonov in December, which was the first defeat of his professional career. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Recently, Garry posted a video in which he took some pokes at Prates over a TKO loss that he suffered back in the day. Well, since then, Prates spoke with Real MMA Today, and when asked to respond, he said this: "It is what it is. It's part of the game, you know, but I don't know. 26th of April, after this fight, Ian Garry is going to come to me and need to say, thank you so much, Carlos. You make me a lot of money because, you know, I chose him to fight against me. 1 year in the UFC, I have 2 main events, 4 bonuses, 4 knockouts. I knock people out." Prates didn't stop there, as the dangerous striker also said this: "But Ian Garry, what? He's been 4 years in the UFC, just 1 bonus, a lot of decisions, never did a main event? Now I think he's gonna make money, more money than he did in fight with Shavkat. For sure, he accepted the fight because they offer a lot of money to fight against me. The main event, they pay a little bit more because the fight is 5 rounds. After I beat his up, he's going to come and he's going to need to say, Carlos, thank you so much. Sorry for something, but thank you so much. I made a lot of money. Thank you for the opportunity, and that's it." What do you make of Prates' response here? And do you see Garry apologizing for the comments if he does lose the fight? Magomed Ankalaev sends a message to Alex Pereira. It looks like Magomed is continuously calling out Alex Pereira to accept the rematch. Magomed posted the following message to Pereira on his Instagram last night: "Alex, I'm ready to give you a rematch. If you really want it, just be prepared for a storm in the next fight. Storm that you never faced in this sport. Hashtag Big Ank." Right now, Magomed and Alex Pereira have talked about wanting to fight in August, which is rumored to be in Chicago, but there's no official word yet. Are you excited for the rematch? Khamzat Chimaev in training camp for next UFC fight? Yesterday, we reported that Khamzat was hinting towards a fight with DDP by tweeting a picture of him with the UFC belt. Now, Khamzat appears to be in training camp for his fight with DDP. He shared the following training footage on Instagram. What are your predictions for this fight? Let us know down in the comments below. Charles Oliveira only interested in fighting for the title. There's no question that a scrap between Charles Oliveira and Paddy Pimblett would be a pretty big fight, but Do Bronx isn't backing away from his campaign to secure another shot at the lightweight crown. Following Paddy Pimblett's stoppage of Michael Chandler at UFC 314, Do Bronx was one of the top contenders that the baddie mentioned that he was interested in fighting against. Since Pimblett is one of the fastest rising stars in the game, and because he and Oliveira are noted finishers, there's lots to like with that matchup. But while speaking with Porto del Valetudo, Do Bronx made it clear he's gunning for a title fight. "I'm looking for the title. I don't run away from anyone. I never have. I'm not going to run away now. I'm ready to fight any of these guys. I respect them all, but I'm going to set my own pace and my own game. So why not? If it's for the title, why not fight Topuria? I'm looking for the title. I don't want to fight another fight just to wait for the title. No, that doesn't interest me. I want to fight for the title. I don't even think about Pimblett. I'm thinking about a title, so I can't be thinking about the guys who are below me." Now, even if you really want to see Oliveira and Pimblett throw hands, you gotta admit that Do Bronx has a lot more to lose in that fight. Currently, he's ranked number 2 in the lightweight division, and Pimblett is number 8. But is it realistic at this juncture for Oliveira to hold out for a title fight, given that he's only 1 win removed from a loss to Arman Tsarukyan? And further, he's also been submitted by the champion, Islam Makhachev. What do you think? Belal Muhammad shuts down fight with Islam Makhachev. There continues to be extensive speculation as to whether Islam Makhachev will move up to welterweight in a mission to add the UFC's welterweight title to his resume. But Belal Muhammad continues to insist the fight between him and his teammate will not happen. For some time now, Makhachev has been open about the fact that he wants to add to his impressive legacy by winning another division's title. The lightweight king, however, hasn't sounded too interested in facing his friend Belal Muhammad. So much so, Makhachev even talked about moving up to middleweight to pursue a title there. Ahead of Muhammad's May 10th fight with Jack Della Maddalena, he spoke with MMA Junkie, and while talking about the prospect of fighting Islam, Belal argued that both he and Islam have other challenges to worry about in their respective divisions. There's levels to loyalty, there's levels to this, and it's for myself. Like you said, you do get tired of it because I do have a lot of challenges. I've got a long list of guys in front of me. Even for Islam now, with Paddy Pimblett with that huge win, he got another guy right there. He got Justin Gaethje right there. If Topuria gets a win, he got him right there too. My end is like my eyes are set on my next target. My next target is Jack, and that's all I care about. It'll be interesting to see what happens if Muhammad does defend the belt at UFC 315. The consensus seems to be that if that happens, then Makhachev will sign on to his next fight at 155 pounds. Could that be against Ilia Topuria? Or possibly Justin Gaethje? What do you think? Joaquin Buckley wrestles with streamer. Joaquin Buckley linked up with a known streamer named Neon and ended up wrestling him for fun. In the clip, Joaquin can be seen going for multiple different submissions on Neon, and let's just say it wasn't competitive.
Your hands out. Oh my god. No, no,
Come on, man. This is a little old school cradle right here.
Oh, that's where I get the elbow.
Come on, man. All right. Boys, there you go. Good job. Boom, boom, boom. Giving the viewers something that they'll never see, you know what I'm saying? Because everything that we do, man, is private, right? It's closed in. We don't give a lot of people access, right?
I appreciate
to what we
you,
do,
man.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for coming out. But man, you gotta do better next time, bro.
I know.
You gotta do better next time. I'm really arguing if I take this shirt back.
Not only was his wrestling lacking, Joaquin and Neon put on gloves for a quick spar, and Neon could barely hit him.
No, man, keep that up. There you go. Boom, boom. Oh! Come on, you got it. Keep the hands.
He's cornering me, bro.
Run. One episode. Run. Come on, hands up. Use that jab over your eye on the target. Use that jab. Use that jab. Come on. Damn, I ain't even moved. Two jabs. Punch me in his face. I ain't moved.
UFC updates. Now let's take a look at some UFC updates and fight news. It looks like Marco Tulio will be sidelined for a little while following a stoppage win over Tresean Gore at UFC 314. Recently, MMA Fighting's Guillaume Cruz reported this. Marco Tulio punched Tresean Gore so hard at UFC 314, he ended up fracturing his right thumb. Matuto told me that he's scheduled to have surgery next week in Sao Paulo. Hopefully, Tulio isn't sidelined for too long, as he has a ton of momentum behind him right now, as evidenced by his 10-fight winning streak. Octagon Update recently reported that Andreas Gustafsson will throw hands with Jeremiah Wells at UFC Vegas 107 on May 31st. Gustafsson has yet to compete in an official UFC fight after he put away Pat Pitlick in Dana White's Contender Series to secure a UFC contract. Wells, meanwhile, could be in a must-win situation as he's coming off back-to-back losses to Carlston Harris and Max Griffin. And speaking of UFC Vegas 107, Alex Bahunin recently reported that Seok Young Ko will take on Billy Ray Goff at the event. Ko will be making his official UFC debut following his decision win over Igor Cavalcanti at a Dana White's Contender Series card in September. Goff, meanwhile, lost via decision to Trey Waters in May of 2024. Prior to that, Goff secured a first-round stoppage win over Yusaku Kinoshita in August of 2023. MMA Junkie and MMA Mania recently reported that Jared Gordon and Thiago Moises will battle at UFC Vegas 106 on May 17th in a compelling lightweight scrap. Gordon hasn't fought since last June when he dropped a split decision to Nasrat Haqparast. That loss followed Gordon's stoppage win over Mark Madsen in November of 2023. Moises recorded a unanimous decision win over Trey Ogden in his last outing, which went down in January. Prior to that, in June of 2024, he lost via decision to Ludovic Klein. CM Punk fighting in the UFC again? Many MMA fans have tried to forget that CM Punk ever competed in the octagon, but on account of recent comments Punk and fellow WWE star Seth Rollins made, people are talking about the possibility of Punk actually coming back to the UFC. Punk, or Phil Brooks, made headlines back in 2016 and 2018 by competing in 2 UFC fights. Although Brooks showed a ton of heart in the fights, as many expected would be the case, he was badly outmatched in the fights. On account of that, the consensus was Punk's MMA career is done, but recently, his upcoming opponent for WrestleMania, Rollins, called on Dana White to book them for a fight in the octagon. It wasn't long before Punk responded to Rollins. The pro wrestling star told the Ringer Wrestling Show this: "Look, I'm going to punch in the face on Saturday. He's talking about wanting to do an MMA fight. Alright, I'll see you Saturday, kid. Welcome to hell. I really appreciate my time in MMA. I really appreciate that everyone can look at that and underestimate me. I think it's the most fantastic thing in the world. Of course, all this could be, and or likely is, a way for the two to promote WrestleMania. But do you think White might entertain booking them for an MMA fight? Dan Ige breaks silence on controversial moment. A lot of people weren't too happy with how the recent Dan Ige-Sean Woodson bout ended, but Ige continues to insist there shouldn't be any controversy. Ige faced Woodson at UFC 314 and emerged with a third-round TKO victory, but plenty of people vehemently disagreed with the referee's decision to stop the bout when he did, as Woodson was actively trying to improve his position. For many, it was an unfortunate end to the fight, especially since most people had Woodson ahead at that point. Well, more recently, Ige spoke with Home of Fight. Here's some of what Ige had to say while arguing he was en route to a victory. You know what, I understand the controversy, but I believe the commentary plays a big role in that, because in the moment when I was there and he shot into my legs and I was hammer fisting him and the ref stopped the fight, the crowd erupted. I felt the energy. There was no controversy there. Everyone was stoked that I finished the fight and I did what I was supposed to do. When I went back and watched it, DC said his comments with Rogan and Anik. They said what they said. It kind of sucks, but it robs me of my victory, but at the same time, that ref could have saved that guy's career. If anything, it just robbed me of a greater and bigger finish, essentially damaging the guy more and more. So what do you make of Ige's comments here? Do you agree that if the fight had not been stopped when it was, Ige would have finished the deal? MMA community roasts Ian Garry for footage. Recently, Ian Garry revealed in a video that he has a picture of him attempting to finish Shavkat Rakhmonov with a rear naked choke in his bedroom. Well, if you're surprised to learn a lot of people have been lighting Garry up on account of this revelation, you haven't been following the sport very closely. And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. Garry faced Rakhmonov last December and surprised many observers by becoming the first man to go the distance with the feared welterweight. Garry lost the bout via decision, but he did have his moments, including the aforementioned RNC attempt. But following the release of the video,
every morning I wake up, this is my bedroom, I get up out of bed, I see a beautiful photo of my baby boy, my wedding photo, and this bad boy. Every day I see this and it aggravates me. Every day.
Here were some of the comments that were sent Garry's way. LOL, his marriage is failure, just like his fight against Shavkat. I'm really looking forward to Prates beating the out of this. Why would he have a picture of himself hugging another man in his bedroom? That just adds to his weirdness. He's acting like he won. That kind of mindset gonna get him colded by Prates next week, I promise you. Got the most important moment of his career, which he failed to succeed in, framed. Weird, LOL. Why hang that up when it's literally you fundamentally misunderstanding how to position your hands for the easiest submission possible? He wakes up to that and his wife's ex-fiance. Great stuff. What do you make of Garry having that photo?